Good afternoon. My name is Isaac Obinyo. I'm a herbal researcher and practitioner here in Nigeria. I'm also the CEO, as the Chief Executive Officer for Maxo and Alex Herbal. Um, this afternoon, I'll be talking to you about this plant, this particular plant. You can see this plant with very beautiful flowers. Now, the name of this plant is Cassia alata. Cassia alata. Now, this plant is very useful medicinal plant. It is an important medicinal plant as well as an ornamental plant, as you can see. Our ornamental plants are plants that are grown for decorative purpose. Now, this plant is in a subfamily of plant known as Sessanopinoideae. That is the subfamily of the plant. The plant is in the family known as Fabiaceae. As I was saying, the name of the plant is Cassia alata, but the plant has a lot of common names. I'm sure if I mention some of the common names, you might know this plant. Some of the common names include Emperor's candlestick. Now, because those who name this plant are gender sensitive, they also call this same plant Empress candlesticks. This plant is also known as a candelabra bush. It's also known as Christmas candle. It's also known as ringworm bush. It's also known as candle tree. It's also known as candlestick. This plant is also known as, it's got a lot of common names. But the very last name I mentioned, I talked about ringworm bush. It's called ringworm bush because it has become popular for treatment of ringworm. Ringworm is a fungal infection. Yeah, as I was saying, we've talked about the common names of this plant. The next thing I want to talk to you about the medicinal uses. Apart from the fact that it's such a beautiful flower, as you can see, this plant is used for treatment of typhoid, it's used for treatment of diabetes, it's very good for treatment of malaria, it has strong anti-malaria property, it's used for treatment of asthma, it's used for treatment of tenure infection, for scabies, for blush, for herpes simplex 1 and 2. Herpes simplex does not really have cure currently, but it has worked tremendously for herpes simplex. It's used for treatment of eczema, it's used for treatment of intestinal worms, cough, hypertension. It's used as a laxative. It's used in treatment of wounds that are infected. It's used for treatment of insect bites. I'm telling you, this plant is a fantastic plant, a very fantastic plant. It is multi-purpose plant, and then the way we use it is determined by the method of preparation. Yeah, next I would like to talk about the bioactive compounds that are present in this plant. Bioactive compounds are chemical compounds that are present in plants that confer on them their healing properties. Now, this plant, candle bush, Cassia alata, contains flavones, contains flavonols, contains flavonoids, glycosides, contains alatinone, contains alanolones, contains beta cytosterols, contains beta D glycosides. These are some of the bioactive compounds that are present. All these compounds I've mentioned were isolated from the leaf of the plant. We've come to also realize through experiments and through practice that the stem and the root of this plant has strong antibacterial and antifungal properties too. So these are some of the things we have been able to discover from our work on this. Yes, I've talked about the bioactive compounds present in this plant. The next thing we're going to talk about is the method of preparation. Today I'm going to teach you how to use this plant for treatment of skin infections. I mentioned a wide range of skin infections that this plant is able to tackle. I talked about scabies. Scabies is a difficult problem to treat. I talked about herpes simplex. I talked about eczema and a host of others. Now, it's good I make you understand that every part of this plant is very useful for treatment of all these skin diseases. The flowers and the leaves. These flowers you are looking at, you can see the flowers. Beautiful flowers. They have medicinal property. They can be used for treatment of diseases. The leaves are very good. The leaves are what we use most of the time for treatment of diseases. The stem is also very useful. The bark is also very useful. And then the root of this plant is also very useful. Yes, I told you earlier that I was going to teach you how to use this plant, bush candle, for the treatment of skin diseases. This plant is able to treat a lot of skin diseases. Now, to use this plant for treatment of skin diseases, what you do is you just get few samples because the plant is very potent. This is what the leaf looks like. So you collect a few samples of the leaves, you pound and you extract the juice. That's the liquid from the plant. You extract it using either little quantity of water or a little quantity of alcohol. Then you apply that liquid, the plant extract, to the affected area. You can actually also add it to your body cream and rub with it. I'm telling you, in a matter of weeks, that skin ailment will be treated completely. Yeah. Another way to use this plant, this candle, in treatment of skin diseases is to you can pound the plant, add a little water, very little quantity of water, and sieve. Now that extract that you have collected, if you decide to use this liquid soap, the better. Makes it easier for you. If you use bar soap to take your bath, you crush your bar soap and mix it with the extract from this plant and use it to take your bath, scrub all your body. I'm telling you, in a matter of days to between a few days to 14 days, your skin troubles will be gone. So that's another way of using this plant. Please bring the camera. I want them to take a very close look at the plant. As a plant, that's what it looks like. As a flower, very beautiful plant. As a plant. Good afternoon. My name is Isaac Obinya. I'm a herbal researcher and practitioner here in Nigeria. I'm also the CEO for Maxo and Alex Herbals here in Nigeria. I did a video earlier where I talked about a particular plant, that's the dogoyaro plant, and I talked about its use in treatment of skin ailments. Today I'll be talking about another plant, Cassia alata, that's the plant. This plant is very useful for treatment of skin diseases. So if you are thinking about a total skin care, then you should be looking at two different plants, Cassia alata and Azadirachta indica that I talked about earlier, that is the dogoyaro plant. So those two plants are very useful. Today I'm going to talk about Cassia alata. Yeah, I've talked about this plant, Cassia alata. It's a very useful medicinal plant, especially when we're talking about skin problems. If you want your skin to be healthy, if you want your skin to be fresh, if you want your skin to be disease-free, this plant is very useful. It's a multi-purpose plant. It's used for treatment of a lot of diseases: typhoid, diabetes, malaria, asthma, tenure infections, scabies, blotch, herpes simplex, eczema, intestinal worms. It's used as a laxative. It's used for treatment of high blood pressure. It's used for healing of wounds that are infected, gangrenes. If you want to learn more about how to use this plant, join us on our YouTube channel, and then we'll teach you how to use this plant for treatment of skin problems. Thank you very much.